Your Honor, the state calls Chelsea Barney.
Oh, it's Bestie time. We're in Utah versus Kouri Richins, day 8,000 million. No, I'm teasing. It's day 9 of trial. But at the end of the day, we heard from Kouri Richins' boyfriend. He was called the paramour in early filings, not identified by name, Mr. Grossman. That was very interesting testimony. I think I'm still buffering. I can't imagine how the jury is processing all this information because it was a lot of text messages. It was a lot of emotion. It was a lot of information. And then Kouri's sitting over at counsel table having a snacky snack and reapplying lip gloss as if she just enjoyed sitting there watching all of this unfold. Well, it was something, wasn't it? And the judge is an vantage point to see all those faces being made, which is where we started the day yesterday when the defense complained that the prosecution was making faces at the jury. I don't think the prosecution was making faces at the jury. I think the faces were about the defense, but we've seen the defense make a fair few faces at the judge, and he called that out. Like, by the time we got to the end of the day, I had forgotten that the beginning of the day was the judge being like, oh my God, the faces are being made at me.
You know, regarding your side of stuff, nothing came out of that. What came out of the other side?
Exactly.
Oh, an illegal transfer, everything.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
A lot came out of that.
Yes, I just went in for a consultation. That was it.
It's just something they're going to try to probably try to hold against you, you know, for no fucking reason. Because
he did it first.
Guess what? Yeah, he did it first, and not only did he do it first, like, he actually took action on it illegally.
That's not accurate.
Yes. All I did was, what the hell am I supposed to do? That was literally the conversation.
Yeah. Yep. So,
It's my right to
that
do.
person's probably going to be... Right.
And
So that person's probably going to be brought in.
which is perfect, because you know what I told that person?
Which is... What?
I don't want to fill out the packet. I don't want absolutely anything. I want to walk away clean and free. I don't want anything. And she kept advising me, no, that's not how this works. You have to fill this out about da-da-da-da. And I said, I don't want to. I don't want any of it.
Yep.
That is what I told that lady. I said, I just want these done. And
Yeah,
she argued with me. Forever. I took the packet, I threw it away. I'm like, no, I won't fill this out because I don't want to have to do everything.
I mean, right. So that's perfect and works in favor for you for everything.
Yep.
Nothing,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm just like so fucking annoyed by it though. Like, quit portraying me to be this person.
Yeah.
Anything you're trying to say I did, Eric did. Like, so now they cancel each other out, you fucking idiots.
Was there a conversation that you had with Kouri Richins in December of 2021 that stood out to you?
Yes.
What was the date of that conversation?
December 17th of 2021.
Oh, you remember?
That's a specific date. Why do you remember that date?
Because I keep a journal and I have photos from that date.
Was there a topic of conversation that came up related to Kouri Richins' marriage?
Yes.
Oh boy.
How did that come up?
I had recently gotten divorced a couple months before, 3 months before, and she was asking me how that was going, and I was asking her about how her marriage was going, and her and Eric had a fight that day, so it was definitely on the top of her mind.
What did Kouri say to you?
Kouri had an opportunity to go to a work event of some sort, like a Christmas gala, something like that. And it was going to be a really good opportunity for her career. She was excited about it. At the same time, Eric had booked a sleigh ride with the family for Christmas, a good family activity, and they had a scheduling conflict, and they did not agree about what they should do for that scheduling conflict.
What else did Kouri say during that conversation about her marriage with Eric?
She talked about how she was feeling trapped. She was feeling like there wasn't an easy way forward out of the marriage. She felt like she was worried about her kids. She was worried that she was going to lose them and that Eric was going to take the kids from her and that his family was going to turn the community against her. And she said that in many ways it would be better if he were dead.
Holy shit, what?
couple of weeks after Eric died, you gave an interview about this conversation you and Kouri had.
Yes.
And you gave it to a private investigator that worked for the family of Eric Richins. Right?
I actually don't remember if it was at that time, but I do remember in a meeting with him, yes.
April 6th of 2022 at your house. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
All right. And this gentleman who was not law enforcement, he's a private investigator, right?
Yes.
And he came to your house and you told him about this day that you spent with Kouri, didn't you?
I don't remember, but I assume so.
All right. And isn't it fair that in that first interview, you never mentioned anything about saying it would be better off if Eric was dead, did you?
I don't recall.
You don't recall?
I don't recall.
Okay. And then you had
Well,
a
do you
second
have the interview?
almost 2 years later in March of 2024 with the same investigator. Is that right?
Sounds right.
And
Do you
then
have
the
the
investigator
interviews?
said, wait, I understand you've talked to Katie and there was something you forgot to tell me the first time we met about a statement Kouri made.
That's true.
And what you forgot to tell him was this part about it, he'd be better off dead, right?
Yes.
Okay. And isn't it fair that in this second interview in 2024, almost 2 years after,
So you talked to Katie
you even
first.
in that interview told him that you couldn't get on the stand for sure and say that she said that, didn't you?
I do not recall that.
Okay, Katie, can you please play the clip BL1?
Oh, it's recorded?
Cue that up and play it for her to hear.
And this part, I swear she said it, but I also feel like if you put me on the stand, I would not be confident enough to actually truly know if she said it. But I swear she said, in many ways, it would be better if he just died.
I am 90% sure she said the comment about it being better dead.
Okay, so again, that is the second interview that you had with the investigator. And again, you're saying you can't say for certain that she made that statement, correct?
Correct. Miss Lloyd, we listened to part of your conversation during one of your previous
Right,
interviews.
and what's the rest of it?
Do you recall during the rest of that conversation explaining why you remembered Kouri making that statement?
I do.
What's that explanation for why you remembered that specific statement from Miss Richins?
Well, as someone who's gone through divorce myself or marital troubles, I know that it is probably somewhat common to have thoughts that aren't necessarily the nicest about your spouse and to have really strong feelings that way. But I was struck because she said it out loud. It was memorable for me enough that after I met with the private detective, I went and talked to my friends, and without prompting, I said, hey, remember that conversation I told you about? What did I tell you about it? And they were able to confirm exactly what I said in my statement here, because it is a very big deal, and I respect the justice system very much, that I am never going to get on the stand and say something that I don't know as truth.
Do you recall receiving a phone call from Eric Richins at about 2:11 p.m. on Valentine's Day 2022?
I do.
Remember, the state has charged an attempted murder from Valentine's Day. They've alleged, and we've not gotten all the way there yet, they've alleged that Kouri tainted his breakfast sandwich from the diner. There is some legal rules around relaying what Eric said and not what Eric said. So this witness is going to have to be fairly careful, and I think we'll see the questioning being very specific and careful because the judge has ruled out some of Eric's statements that are not coming in.
Without saying what Eric said to you, why is it you remember that phone call?
It was notable, I think, for a couple reasons, but the main reason was just well, the topics of the things we talked about, but also the emotion, I guess. It was unlike any other conversation I'd had with Eric. Mostly just kind of his spirits felt almost like somber, and anybody that knows Eric, most of the time you would call and he would already be talking. upbeat, and this one was a lot different.
How did he sound to you?
Like I said, somber would be maybe a way to describe it. Very serious. Maybe sincere, which can be is a little like, especially for friends that joke around a lot and kind of rib each other quite a bit, which we did. It was just very outside the norm.
Had you ever heard Eric sound like that before?
No.
Based on that conversation, did you ask Eric Richins if he was okay now?
Yes.
Did you ask Eric if he was going to go to the hospital?
Yes.
Did you ask Eric, what are you going to do about it?
Yes.
Do you know Kouri Richins?
I do.
How do you know her?
We've been friends for about 20 years.
When did you first meet?
9th grade. Junior high school.
Have
Besties
you
from
stayed
way
friends that whole
back.
time?
Yes.
Did you consider her your best friend?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Are you familiar
Yeah.
with the fact that the defendant obtained a $250,000 home equity line of credit on the home that she lived in?
Yes.
What, if anything, did the defendant say about that?
She had said that Eric was mad at her and had turned off her credit cards because he found out she took a loan out on the house.
The prosecution has been ordering the witnesses in a way that each of them have built upon the other in a way that has been interesting, I think, and easy to follow. So today turns out to be Bestie Day. The best friend, Chelsea Barney, is on the stand as the court took a lunch break. They were still in the very beginning, I think, of direct examination. This is the friend who had that housing transaction with Kouri where they were closing on a property and friend gave Kouri $45,000. And it seemed, based on the messages, because we saw that with the forensic accountant, I think we saw her say, well, I knew that the $45,000 was intended to be to the down payment because the friend was doing a home purchase. The friend who was not quite sure how to wire the money. The friend was doing a home purchase when Kouri was the seller. Kouri was going to carry the mortgage on the home. Friend was going to give Kouri $45,000 for the down payment. Kouri was going to cover the rest. Then they were going to take it from that hard money lending that had a balloon payment due and then transition the mortgage into friend's name, and friend was paying rent with that. And we traced that money with that witness. That $45,000 did not go to this loan at all. And in fact, the property never went into friend's name. And in fact, Kouri later used that property as collateral to get out another $95,000 loan and was arrested coming out of that loan office on May 8th, 2023. But the mortgage never went into friend's name. And after Kouri was arrested, at some point that house was foreclosed upon. Bestie is a victim in the financial fraud case. And so in the financial fraud case, we will hear more about that housing transaction. In that cross-examination, the defense did say, well, Kouri only needed that $45,000 at the time that the closing happened. So she could just use that money in the meantime for other things and then bring that money back. You know, once she brought it to the table at closing, it was fine. It was just, it's not that she misappropriated that money. It's just that she didn't need it yet because the closing hadn't happened yet. Well, the closing never happened. And that was part of why the friend got evicted from that home.
Ma'am, are you familiar with a house at 299 East, 100 South?
Oh boy.
Yes.
Business.
How so?
I lived there. I
friend.
bought it from Kouri.
Right.
Who lived there with you?
My family. My husband and 3, and I had another one. So 4 kids.
Uh-huh.
Ma'am, when you say you bought it from Kouri, what do you mean?
We were in a situation needing a place to live, and Kouri was buying this house to flip it and sell it, and she offered to sell it to me.
Right.
Did you accept that offer?
Yes.
What was the arrangement?
Just, it went back and forth for a year on what would work out. And it came down to I would sign the deed of the house, and the house was mine. And I paid a down payment, and I could do what I wanted because I had the deed to the house, but the loan would be under her name, but I would pay the mortgage payments myself.
Ma'am, is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes.
When you signed that document, what was your understanding?
That the house was mine.
Did you understand that that document, upon signing it, that needed to be recorded with Wasatch County?
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
Was that document ever recorded with Wasatch County?
No.
So did there come a time when your understanding changed?
Yes, I emailed the lady I signed the papers with and asked for copies of the paper, and she told me it was never filed with the county.
Did you continue to live in the house?
I did.
Did that change?
Yes.
You were evicted in September 24?
Mm-hmm.
Why were you evicted?
The new owners kicked me out.
Were there new owners because the mortgage was foreclosed on?
No.
Why were there new owners?
I don't know how it all works, but she gave the deed over to someone else, and they owned the house.
Was it a deed in lieu of foreclosure?
Yes.
I gotta talk to you. I gotta get shit off my chest.
Okay.
You okay?
I'm good.
So, you know that I'm obviously in a lawsuit with the Richins.
You are?
Yes.
I did not know that.
I just want to tell you what's going on. But I also want to back up a couple steps, and I want to tell you that I understand that your loyalty is 100% to the Richins. Like you've known them longer, and I get that, and that's fine. And I just, if our friendship ends here, I get that too. And I mean, I get it, Bryce. Like I just get it, and it sucks, but it is what it is. And I just want to get everything out on the table right now so that, but basically, you know about Eric's trust. It's no surprise.
Yeah.
Bryce, I don't care about money. It's not a big fucking deal to me. All the money, Eric has almost, $3 million in life insurance money. I want it all to go into the trust to my kids. I don't want any of it, Bryce. Like, I don't care about money.
Sure.
This house is my house, Bryce.
Right.
But, I mean, when I make money, like, I work hard for my money, Bryce. Like, I do. I don't make Eric money. I have put $80,000 towards our mortgage in the last year. I paid $60,000 in cash of my money towards that pool. Like, this is my house, and I'm going to fight for it. I just want you to know. And whether I have to fight the girls about it, I'm going to. Bryce, I mean, I'm just going to get up. Yeah, I took $250,000 off of our house.
Yeah.
Do you know how much in real estate we own today because I did that? $11 million worth of real estate. Do you know why I did that, Bryce? Because Eric would never let me work. Eric never trusted me in
100%.
believing me. No, but I want you to know that. Would you do it? Would you take $250,000 to make $11 million?
Well, that's tricky, right? Like, the communication was the big thing for Eric, right?
He told me no, Bryce. I believed in myself. He told me no, but I knew I could do it because I know what I can do. Bryce, I wouldn't do something that I didn't know that I knew I could do. I'm not fucking stupid. The house goes to the trust's name, which goes to Katie. She has the right to sell it. She has the right to remodel it. She has the right to do whatever. I have no rights to the house, so to speak of the trust.
That was, I mean, Eric he did everything for you and for those kids, right? And when all that shit went down between you and Eric over, the power of attorney and taking the money and whatever, that's what changed it for him, right? So he was like, Bryce, I'm not here anymore. I need to make sure my kids are protected, right?
I get it.
Kouri and they're just protected.
I get it.
So I said I knew she was going to get ugly, right? And I'm neutral here. But if you can just take my word for it, I knew.
Bryce, I'm scared to take your word for it. I'm terrified to take your word.
Hey, Bryce, this is Chelsea. Hey. So Kouri has told them, or they're going through like attorney to attorney. It's never been like face to face.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell them about that? Okay, so Kouri has told them that they can take all the life insurance, whatever they have in their name, what Eric left to them, but Kouri just wants her house, which is like a $3 million to $7 million difference. Well, they won't agree to anything until they get the autopsy because they think that Kouri had a part in Eric's death. As in Amy and Katie. They probably not Katie as much as Amy. They think that Kouri has a part in Eric's death.
A little far-fetched. I don't think Kouri's capable of doing that, but
What?
I think that's a little far-fetched. I don't think Kouri's
I
capable
know.
of
Well, I mean, that's kind of where we're at now. And she just got this call yesterday. Everybody knew how we're not fucking stupid. I mean, 2 years ago, they were getting a divorce and then they were great. But, like, to say in the moment that they were at when he died, I mean, I can honestly say, because I even told Kouri, like, I hadn't gotten a call from you in a year that Eric was being an asshole. Like, I hadn't gotten that call. So, in all honesty, Kouri gets nothing from Eric. Which, I mean, Kouri's not about getting anything from her husband dying right now. I mean, that's a tragic thing where no one, like, that's not what you go after unless you're some fucking Black Widow. Like, that's not what you go after. You don't go after your husband dying and you don't go after money. But, I mean, she's just saying she doesn't even care about the life insurance because the life insurance, the beneficiary is Katie right now of Eric's life insurance.
That's fine.
Which Kouri says she's fine. And, like, in all honesty, like, if you weigh out how much Katie gets in the will and how much Kouri is asking for, it's compared to $7 million to $3 million. Like, Kouri has already weighed her assets on everything, and with Kouri's house and, like, everything that is in her house, she would probably get $3 million with that. And Katie, with the life insurance and everything she's getting out of it, she's getting $7 million. So it's like, like all Kouri is asking for is her house, but they're not agreeing to that because they are coming up with the fact that Kouri has a say, or Kouri was an accomplice in how Eric died.
Amy said I was an incompetent mother of Saturday night. Tell him that. I didn't tell him that.
On Saturday, Amy has came out to her lawyer saying that Saturday night, the night that you came over and we were all drinking, that Kouri was an incompetent mother and couldn't take care of her own kids that night. So Amy had to take care of them, which Amy had no part of taking care of them because Lisa and DJ were here.
Bryce, I am not a bad mom. Like, I am not a bad fucking mom. And Amy told them I was a bad mom.
The Richins girls don't play nice. And they never have and they never will.
Well.
But
that's kind of like ultimately what she wanted to call you about was that she just can't make the celebration of life. And she feels awful about it. She doesn't want I mean, and if you continue to do it, whether you cancel it or not, like if you continue to do it, she doesn't want she doesn't want to come out as looking as the bad guy that she's not there.
Like Eric has been like, he had an anger management book that he would write in like every couple of days. Like it was in his nightstand. Like I'd come home from like work and he was be like out on the back deck, like writing in his anger management book. And you know, like we were just good. I was going to counseling, like he was doing anger management. Like we have been so good. Like
right.
Everybody knew it. Like we were going on double dates. Like we were going out more. We did weekly date nights. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense. And now all of a sudden, Katie and Amy are attacking me for no fucking reason. Like. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. And
well, all Katie and Amy ever heard about you was always the bad shit, right?
They did, and
it was Eric. When things were good between you guys, Eric wasn't calling me or anybody else, mostly Katie and Amy, right? Like, hey, like Kouri did this awesome. She did this awesome. This is great, right?
Yeah.
He would only call the bitch about what you were doing,
the bad
didn't
stuff.
like what you were doing, right? And so. Yeah, all I heard was the negative shit, right?
I mean, last month we sat down and talked about every asset that we had, everything we had, and Eric was like, holy fucking shit, you know, like, he was just also taken by surprise. Like, he just was like, you know, that $250,000 is the best thing you've ever done. And I was like, I know, you just didn't believe in me. And you know, and I was like, and now it all goes to our kids. Like, our kids are taken care of for life. Anyway, I meant to call you yesterday. I talked to the medical examiner. I called them because I don't believe that they don't have anything. I just am having a hard time believing that.
Yeah, what's taking so long?
Well, she said that, you know, she's like, well, I'll have the actual doctor call you who did his autopsy. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so her name is Pamela Ulmer. And she called me a couple hours later. And I was like, look, lady, like, you got to have something for me. Like, there's no way you didn't notice something obvious. Like, Jesus Christ, 12 weeks, you know?
Yeah.
And she was just like, well, yeah, there was something obvious, you know, we noticed, but... you know, we're not going to call you and tell you that immediately. And I was like, well, what? You know? So they ruled out an aneurysm automatically. She's like, it wasn't. Yeah. She's like, it wasn't an aneurysm. I can tell you that. And she goes, he did test positive twice for COVID. And I was like, yeah, bullshit. No. Which we did have COVID a month and a half ago. Like, we all tested positive, but that was like a month and a half ago. Like, he didn't still have fucking COVID.
Yeah, that was fucking, everybody had it in January.
Like we didn't still have COVID. And she was like, well, his lungs, he had a fungal infection in his lungs. Like, they were completely covered in white spots. She's like, and I don't know what it was. She's like, so I cut 3 of them out and sent him in for biopsies. She's like, but they were so full of fluid and blood. She's like, I have no idea yet what it is. She's like, so I'm thinking between the COVID and the fungal infection that it shut his lungs down. And I was like, no, like that, he is the healthiest guy. That guy is a fucking mountain goat. Like, he could, like, I was like, we just ran a half a marathon 6 months ago, and Eric didn't even train for it, and I did, and he beat me by 40 minutes. Like, no, there's nothing wrong with his lungs. Like, no, I don't believe that. It just, like, hurt. I think it was most hurtful the way that he wrote it, Bryce. Like, if you, read it, it was just so hurtful the way that he wrote the trust. Like... I get we were in a rocky spot 2 years ago. Did I ever think we would officially divorce and go about our ways? Like, not really.
I mean, hell, he thought that, right?
Like, I guess.
You know, when he was seeing that stupid Jen chick, I would tell him, I'm like, bro, like, if you're gonna see her, there's going to be consequences. If you get caught, do you want to be with this chick? Well, no. I said, well, then you got to, because if you get caught, you're going to get divorced. But then he gets caught, right? And then you kick him out of the house for, what, a week or two? Did he go live with his dad for like 2 weeks or something?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Eric was here as I can say it again. I think he changed it, but unfortunately he didn't. And now you're stuck in a hard place, right? To fight for your family, fight for what's yours. And the Richins family, not necessarily Gene. I think if Gene, I don't think he wouldn't be as ruthless as.
No, he's trying to stay neutral. I asked my attorneys, I said, I don't understand. What does that mean? And he was like, they think you had something to do with Eric's death. And I said, what the fuck does that mean? Jesus Christ. And he was like, they think that, and they reiterated it. And I was like, oh my God, what? And they're like, they're going with that, Kouri. They're on that level. And Bryce, I lost it. Fucking lost it. I was like, you think I killed my fucking husband for Jesus Christ's sake?
No, I've not heard that from any of those two. And nor have I thought that myself, right?
Why? What?
Yeah, I would never. I mean, Kouri, we can all do a lot of things, and you are not capable of doing
No shit. There's no way.
If you were gonna do it, you would have shot him in his head.
Like 2 years ago.
Right?
Like 2 years ago.
I don't.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even know what that means. I was like, well, what do you mean? How does that even fucking happen? What?
Did there come a time when you, Kouri Richins, Eric Richins, and maybe others were having a conversation about Eric Richins becoming ill on Valentine's Day?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Who was present for that conversation?
Myself, Kouri, Eric, Selma, and Wade. Our other friends.
How did you come to learn about whatever happened on Valentine's Day?
Eric told us.
What did Eric Richins say?
He said that he thought that Kouri had tried to poison him, but it was more of a funny story. It was like an allergic reaction is what we had thought it was.
So Eric jokingly, I want to accurately capture.
We were laughing at the story.
So did Eric,
along with Eric.
Right. Did Eric jokingly say that Kouri Richins had tried to
Yes, and we all teased Kouri for trying to kill him or poison him or whatever he thought it was.
Okay. How did Kouri Richins react to Eric Richins jokingly say that she tried to poison him on Valentine's Day?
She laughed about it. We were all laughing.
Did she say anything about what happened on Valentine's
She said, no, that's not what happened, that he had, that it was an allergic reaction or something, or it wasn't that dramatic, it didn't happen like that.
Did he tell you, I believe Kouri tried to poison me, or did he say to you, did Kouri tell you she tried to poison me?
No, he said, Kouri tried to poison him.
All right, and who was there? Kouri was there?
Yes.
And what was her response to that?
She was laughing and she said that's not what happened.
And what did happen?
I don't know what happened.
Well,
he took a.
You can't elicit what your client said.
I don't know what happened.
Well,
he took a bite of the sandwich and got an allergic reaction and had to shoot himself with an epi-pen.
Okay, so they talked about that there was an allergic reaction.
Yes.
Was everyone laughing?
Yes, we were all laughing and we jokingly said, "Don't eat what Kouri feeds you."
And were you there when Kouri was trying to get into a safe that belonged to Eric?
I was.
Do you know why Kouri was trying to get into the safe?
Excuse me, yes.
Why was she trying to get into the safe?
She wanted to see what his will said.
You did see Kouri's reaction.
I did.
To not being able to get into the safe. Let me rephrase that. You saw Kouri's reaction based on what was going on regarding the safe.
I did.
And you saw her, well, tell me, what was her reaction?
Pure frustration and rage.
Rage?
Yeah.
Was she crying?
Yes. She was shaking.
And in your opinion, was that reaction over the top?
No, I thought she was valid.
Did you think she was unreasonably out of control?
She said she thought she was valid.
Was that reaction unexpected, given what was going on in the room?
No.
We are at the end of the second week of trial, and we're at the end of day 9. There is no trial on Friday, March 6th. We will be back in court on Monday. And on Monday, when we get back to court, well, we're going to see the business partner because we know the business partner is coming up. I don't know if we're going to see Bryce and have any more questions about his pants. A bunch of these witnesses today, I was quite surprised by. I knew we were going to have Bestie, but we're going to have to get to Kouri Wright, the business partner. And at some point, we are going to have to get into all of Kouri Richins' statements. Recorded interviews with law enforcement, searches, what was recovered, other texts and emails that were recovered. We're going to see the video that's being redacted of the house party, basement party wake that happened on March 5th, which gives some more context to the calamitous kerfuffle that happened on March 6th that ended up with the sheriffs getting called and a locksmith being called. But Eric Richins wasn't even taken out of his home until very late in the morning on March 4th. On March 5th, there is some kind of a basement party that Kouri was very upset the video was taken of. And then on March 6th, there's a locksmith at the house to try to get into Eric's safe that was out in the garage. And I think out in the garage in his, like the office that we saw in the video tours. And that's going to be very interesting. So when we get to O'Driscoll, that's going to be a day plus of testimony, but I imagine the prosecution might be done midway through the day. I don't know if we're going to have scientific testing. I know they tested the gummies that were in the house. I don't know if that's going to be left for rebuttal or not. We're going to have to wait and see because the prosecution can have a rebuttal case. And when we're looking at a jury trying to figure out if this was an unexpected death or not an unexpected death, the context is going to be important and what the jury thinks of these witnesses. And Kouri's on the phone talking to Bryce about how angry she is at her newly deceased spouse's sisters and that she's pissed that she is 32 years old, damn it, and that, you know, they just don't understand and that it's her house and they can have all the money and whatever. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss updates on your favorite cases, you're going to need the Law Nerd app at lawnerd.app.com. That way you can stay in the loop on the cases that matter most to you, and you never know when you're going to catch feelings for a new case. So make sure you get it for free on iOS and Android. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a Law Nerd.